What would you do in this situation? Imagine doing the worst possible thing, just to save your marriage. You carry the secret for years, thinking you got away with it. Then, a single sheet of paper from the American embassy destroys your life in seconds. Listen to my story and tell me if I deserve what happened. 10 years ago, my life in Onitsha was a living hell. I had been married to my husband, Obinna, for 6 years, and I had no child. You know how it is here. My mother-in-law made sure I didn't sleep. She called me a dry tree, brought other women to the house, and threatened to throw me out every day. I begged Obinna to go with me for fertility tests. He bluntly refused, saying a real man doesn't need testing. The problem, according to his family, was entirely mine. I was desperate. I was losing my mind, and I was about to lose my home. Then, an old university boyfriend came to town for a brief visit. In a moment of pure desperation and weakness, Imaja plan. I didn't do it for love or for pleasure. I did it for survival. We met at a hotel. Just once. A month later, I missed my period. When I broke the news, the entire house erupted in joy. My mother-in-law suddenly started treating me like a queen. When my daughter was born, Obinna threw the biggest dedication party in our church. He loved that little girl with all his heart. My marriage was saved. For 8 years, we lived in perfect peace. Then, Obinna's older brother in the USA succeeded in filing for us to relocate. We sold our cars and property, packing up our lives. But during the final visa processing, there was a discrepancy with my daughter's birth registration. The embassy required a routine DNA test. My heart completely stopped. I tried to fake an illness. I tried to convince Obinna to leave our daughter with my mother and travel first. But he wouldn't listen. It's just a formality, he smiled, holding her hand. We went to the approved clinic. The swabs were taken. 3 weeks later, the brown envelope from the embassy arrived at our house. Obinna was so excited. He tore it open right there in the parlor, while I stood frozen in the kitchen. I will never forget the silence. It was so loud it deafened me. I walked into the parlor. Obinna was staring at the paper. His hands were shaking violently. He looked up at me, and his eyes were completely dead. The result read, 0% probability of paternity. He didn't shout. He just walked into the bedroom and locked the door. The next morning, he took his passport and his suitcase, and he went to the airport alone. He blocked my number. His family came later that afternoon and threw my belongings into the street. I lost my husband, my reputation, and my chance at a better life. All because I tried to give him the child he refused to get tested for. So, I am asking you, I know I was wrong, but was I the only one at fault? What would you have done in my shoes?